Howdy, farm friends. How are we this evening? I wanted to jump on and say hello. Tonight is our peak of the week on Wednesday night. Jacqueline is on her way home from work right now. Eleanor is in the other room doing a few other things. And I wanted to check in with you. Hopefully, Jacqueline will join us here in just a few minutes. While everyone joins in, we're going to give everybody just a minute to join in before we get into the main details of what we want to talk about tonight. And so while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our comments section so that I can see who all's here and what folks are saying. And I can say hello to you. Let's see here. Alrighty, checking out folks on Facebook right now. Miss Linda, love you guys. We love you too, Linda. Thank you so much for being here. And let's pull up the YouTube feed real quick and see who all is over there tonight. As you're coming in, let us know that you're here so that we know who all is on. Let's see here. We've got some of the regulars over on YouTube and maybe one or two new folks as well. So it's good to see y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. The screen is a little bit blurry. Let me see if I can wipe that off for you. There we go. That's better. It's so good to be with y'all. So good to be with y'all tonight. Let's see here. Elizabeth over on YouTube says she's struggling with audio. Is anybody else struggling with audio right now? Let us know what it's like, and I'll see what I can do to fix it. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I'm checking to see if we've got anything, but I don't see anything on my end right off. So it's a stormy evening here in central Alabama. We have been watching the rain come in, and there was a tornado warning in effect for counties southwest of us earlier, with a storm that looked like it might make its way up to us, but luckily that storm weakened before it got to us. It's actually over us right now, and so we're getting a ton of rain from it, but we aren't getting any of that really heavy wind or anything close to a tornado. So we are safe. We hope that you are safe, and that this rain that you get is just enough, right? We don't want too much of it. I imagine, depending on which of our animals you ask, it may be too much here on the farm, but everybody will be all right, and I'm eagerly awaiting the rain to stop so I can run out and make sure everybody's got food and that everybody stayed dry tonight. Worst case scenario in this weather is just that somebody's gotten wet, and so I'll have to make sure that they can get up off the wet ground before they go to sleep. So let's see here. Checking in, we've got some folks from Lafayette, Louisiana in the house, and over on YouTube we've got South Mississippi, Northern Montana. Hello from Mississippi, South Mississippi, Missouri. Cold here in NYC. I bet it is, Susan. We have enjoyed, Jacqueline and I have enjoyed spending some time here and there in New York City. A couple of trips up there, quick trips, and have enjoyed staying there for just a little while. The last trip we went on was actually just kind of a weekend trip that was a surprise for my birthday, and we really enjoyed that. And it was like in late January, I think, so it was really cold out there. So I bet you are cold. You stay warm up there, Susan. Let's see here. Kathy in Kansas, and let's see here. Yep, I think that's just about everybody. So let's see. Mountainburg, Arkansas, back over on Facebook. So it's so good to be here with all of y'all tonight. So thank you for stopping by to chat with us. I want to go ahead and update you on our fundraiser. that we're doing right now for Heifer International. So I'm going to throw up this graphic right here. Sorry, it's covering me up for a second. And let you know that right now, the donations that have actually already come in, we have $25 for Team Pig and $40 for Team Goat so far, which is awesome. We are so excited to be having those donations roll in, so thank you so much for that. I am going to go ahead and run back through what this fundraiser is all about. Heifer International is an organization that gives livestock. Oh, sorry, I didn't move it over there. It's still over my face. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so running back over it real quick. Heifer International is an organization that gives livestock to people and communities that are underprivileged, and it's a way for them to have a source of food and a source of income, and both of those things are sustainable. Not only do they give them the animals to begin those businesses and sources of food, but they also give them tons of education and support so that they'll know the best way to raise those animals and go about starting that business, that agriculture business, so that they can sustain that growth and be able to provide for their family, for themselves, for their communities. And so they make a huge difference. And so what we're doing is Head Family Farm has donated enough to buy 1 pig and 1 goat for Heifer International. So we've already got 1 pig and 1 goat. The cost of pigs and goats are both $120, and so it's kind of our goal to see if we can wind up with 1 pig and 1 goat that we donate personally, and then maybe 1 pig and 1 goat that our community out there, you guys, donate. So we would love to be able to help out some folks and communities and families to get on that step of self-reliance and being able to provide for themselves. And this will go on for generations to come. It's not a quick send 1 meal or something like that, or even something that's just going to help for several meals. It's not that they're sending these animals to be fattened up and slaughtered. It's they are getting these communities set up in a way that they can breed these animals and live sustainably with these animals. The goats are used for milk. The pigs obviously will be used for meat down the road, but the first pigs that they get will be a way to set up a sustainable culture of pigs there. So a sustainable line of pigs there so that they can continue that as a business and a way to feed people in their community. And like I said, I think this will be a gift that will be felt for generations to come. So we announced last week around this time that just like we are doing, just like we're doing these, I'm sorry, I blanked off there. Last time we announced that just like we're doing cash donations, also all of the stars that we receive on Facebook in the month of December, and all of the super thanks and super chats that we receive on YouTube during the month of December will go towards this fundraiser. So that's what we are doing this month. So if you want to donate, but you don't want to go through the trouble of going to our website and going through those links and all that, you can just do stars or super chat, and 100% of the stars and super chats that we get this month on Facebook and YouTube will go directly to this Heifer International fundraiser. Even on other stuff that's not quite related to the fundraiser, all of it's going to go to that, whether it be reels, posts, videos, whatever. All of that's going to go to our fundraiser this month. Thank you so much to everybody that has already been giving. Let's see, I see Miss Jackie over on Facebook saying that she gave. Yes, I saw that. Let me get with you about the amount that you mentioned there, because on it's a different amount than what came through on in the email that I saw. but I'll double check and we'll make sure that we've got that amount right. So thank you so much to everybody that is that's already given, and to the folks that will continue to give this this Christmas season. We are so excited to be able to support this awesome organization, and I'm going to go ahead and put a different graphic up so that we can continue to talk. Let's see here. I may have to just make the graphic a little bit smaller so that it's not covering me up. So we are going to be doing this all through the month of December, and I think January 2nd is the day that we're going to go live and give the announcement for how much we raised, and we will show us taking care of buying those pigs or goats. We'll do that live so that everybody can join in the excitement with us. So let's see here. Also, the reason that you see Team Pig, let's see right there, and Team Goat right there, is because as you donate, we ask that you let us know, if it's through Super Thanks or Super Chat or Stars on Facebook, that you let us know in a comment whether you want it to go towards the pig or the goat. And the team that wins, Team Pig or Team Goat, will get a special Christmas themed video with that animal, with either the pigs here on Head Family Farm or the goats here on Head Family Farm. And so whichever team wins, we will do an extra special video for you on that, and you won't want to miss that. So let us know whether you want that special video to be for the pigs or for the goats, and we look forward to sharing that with you. So once again, thanks so much for everybody that is helping with that. We are going to, let's see here. Okay, Jacqueline, or Miss Jacqueline says that it did come through correctly. It just didn't show up on the counter on the website yet. So we'll get that taken care of. So thanks for letting me know. So we can actually add another amount to the goat and to the total that will show up later. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, so you guys have already been an incredible support to this fundraiser, and so we thank you for that. So we've got some cool stuff going on around the farm right now. If you saw our video today, or let's see, yesterday, you saw that it was hay day here on the farm. So I ran up a little north of here and got a bunch of square bales of hay to feed to the goats. And because we want to make sure that we've got plenty of hay to get us through the winter months, just in case the area around us is running low on hay supply through the winter. And I feel really confident that we've got enough now. But Eleanor and I did something fun with the hay, since I got it in square bales, and I'll talk in just a second about why we do square bales, or why we did square bales this time. We made a hay fort out of the square bales. Just a little fun little area in the barn for Eleanor to play. She had already decided, as soon as we started building it, that she wants it to be a place where she can read, and a place where she can do crafts. Fresh Starts, yes. Fresh Starts over on YouTube said, and Eleanor made sure that you knew that they were not squares. Yeah, Eleanor did. She said, Daddy, these hay bales are not square. And I said, you know what, baby girl, you're right. They're not square bales, not square hay bales, but we call them square. They're shaped like big rectangles. And so, or I guess they're extended boxes, but they look like rectangles. So she was right. They're not square in any way. They are rectangles. So, but the reason that we got square bales, because I'll be honest with you, round bales are cheaper when you look at the cost per weight, right? So per pound, the round bales are significantly cheaper. By about double the price for square bales if you find well-priced square bales. So the reason that we went ahead and did square bales instead of a round bale like we did last time is because we don't have a tractor, and our land stays pretty damp a lot of the time, stays wet a lot of the time, and so we can't always get the truck where we would need to get the truck to move the bales around. So with square bales, we can easily pick them up and move them and all that. So that was definitely the way to go for us, just not having a tractor. Or even right now we don't even have a functional lawnmower. So that happened right at the end of the season, and that was great the way that happened. You don't ever want a piece of machinery or a tool to stop working, but it was the best time for that lawnmower to stop working if it had to stop working. So we don't need it for cutting grass right now, but it would have been pretty helpful if we had gotten a round bale so that we could move it around. But the goats don't seem to mind. They seem to love this new hay. We didn't completely finish out the round bale that we had yet, but we started using some of the square bales just to see if they liked it or not. And so they don't seem to mind that it's not the round bale. And that round bale was a later season cutting, probably the third cut, which is what they suggest for horses. It's a better quality hay later in the season. So even though we switched from third cut to probably first cut, or let's see, I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking out the side of my neck right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I was thinking that, but then I thought about it, and it's December, so it's not going to be the first cut, this hay. Anyways, it doesn't look like it's as high quality, the stuff that we got in the hay bales, as what we in the square bales is what we had in the round bales, but the goats seem to love it anyway. So we'll breeze on past that. If you happen to know when the cutoffs typically are, like what the date ranges are for the different cuts of hay, put it in the comments so I can let people know that, since I apparently did not know what I thought I knew when I started that sentence. But anyways, so the goats are already loving the hay. Eleanor's loving that she's got her hay fort in the barn, and so I'm happy about that. Also this week we showed the Christmas decorations that we have up outside already, that Jacqueline and Eleanor put up, and those are looking great. Jacqueline just came in.
I was gonna show them my plaid on plaid.
Oh yeah, she's rocking the plaid on plaid tonight, which just means she's comfy, right?
I just got home from work and it is so yucky outside.
It really is.
It is. It's flash flooding, and
there we go.
It is very, very wet, and my hair is wet.
Mm-hmm.
I had a coat on the top, but my pants were soaked, and so I slipped on some plaid PJ pants, flannel PJ pants, because my legs are cold, and I have my flannel shirt on.
Uh-huh.
I'm flannel on flannel. I hope everybody's having a good evening. I was watching the live on my way home, listening to it anyways.
Fresh Starts over on YouTube says that it depends on your region which cut is better. I'm fairly certain that it's the third cut hay that people suggest for horses around here.
It really depends on your animal. From what my sister has a horse, and her horse is very, very picky. Mm-hmm. And they don't feed first cut anyways, but she prefers second or third cut for him. Mm-hmm. But the later the cut, the higher the price goes, I think.
Yeah. That seems right. So in our region, it seems like the further you go into the year, the higher the price is. And I don't think it's just because it's a commodity. I think it's also, they suggest anyways that it's higher quality. I don't know that it is. We don't have as much.
I'm not a grass farmer.
Experience. Yeah.
I'm not a grass farmer. I want to learn more about all of that.
We do have lots of like hay fields around here, and there's even a sod farm down the road a little ways, so we could ask them. But let's see here. We got a few more folks joining us over on.
I'm laughing because look at Lady.
Lady is trying so hard.
She is between us
to get us to play ball
between our chairs. And sticking her ball in her little face, like sticking up between our chairs. You silly thing.
Something I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about our fundraiser is that the link for that fundraiser website is in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook. So
and I know Zach's already said it, but thank y'all. And if you can't donate, please don't have any guilt over that or worry about that. This is something that was on our hearts to do and something that we were doing personally, and we thought we would make it fun and open it up for everybody to participate. So.
Yep. Yeah, we're glad to invite our community into things that bring us joy, and this is one way that we like to give back. So
I'm not throwing it out.
Let's see here. Over on YouTube, glad to finally catch you live. This is Springdale Homestead. Good to meet you in Milton, Florida. And
hey,
it was Mimsy,
yeah.
yes. So Eleanor calls my parents Mimsy and Papa, and we met a couple in Milton, Florida at the Gulf Coast Homesteaders Meetup. That's what it's called. That they also go by Mimsy and Papa with their grandkids. And Mimsy had her had on a hat and a shirt that said Mimsy on it, and I was like, that's so cool. And she let me take a picture and send it to my mom because I haven't met a lot of Mimsies. So Jacqueline's gonna.
I don't want to make that smaller.
Here,
I wanted to show them Lady's hair bows.
For now.
Lady got a bath, and every time I give her, she keeps trying to kiss me. And she knows I don't do kisses, but she keeps trying to kiss me. Stop that. No kisses, okay? I love you, but you cannot kiss my face. Lady got a new hairstyle. She has 3 ponytails. If she won't look. She won't look. She wants to look at my face. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. She's got 3 piggy tails. She's so sweet. You're such a sweet girl. Yeah.
We have been very
You're gonna get yucky with all this rain.
Lady.
You're gonna get yucky again.
And if you haven't heard us talk about Lady before, Lady was a birthday present for Eleanor 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
2020.
2020. So 2 years ago, almost 3. And so she was a birthday present to Eleanor, but I was not big on the idea of getting a dog. I didn't mind having animals that would be outside, and so we had gotten Lucille just before then, right?
We had Lucille, and we had the chickens.
A few chickens.
We got Lady, so we got chickens in spring. We got chicks in spring of 2020 in March. Got our first 3 chicks in March of 2021. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, 2020.
Yeah, there we go.
March of 2020. And then we got ducks within the next month, baby ducks. And so everything was young. And then we got Lady August. Picked her up.
Yeah.
August 1st.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was early October or early August.
Yeah, it was August 1st.
But I had previously been dog owner, and I was not great at it. And so I wanted to...
A lot of people get dogs in college.
Yeah.
And we were guilty of that. And we did not have the time or the knowledge to properly train and raise and care for. And one dog, he lived until he was 11. He was a miniature pinscher named Crimson. And he passed from congestive heart failure, and he was totally blind. And then our other dog, Stella, she lives in Chicago now. And we chose to rehome her when Eleanor was a baby because we had not socialized her the way that we needed to. And we did not have the means to give her the room that she needed at the time. We weren't living here on the farm. And I've had some kind of residual guilt on rehoming her now, like once we moved out here, because we only rehomed her about a year before we moved, and we didn't know we were going to move. It was not planned at all. It all happened in about the amount of time it takes to close on a house. It was about 45 days. And so I've had some residual guilt over rehoming Stella. Stella was a Catahoula leopard dog. And if you don't know what that is, they're the state dog of Louisiana, and they are a cattle and a hog hunting dog. That's what they're most commonly trained and used for. Highly, highly intelligent, high energy, and we got her in college. She had good manners with us, but she was very, very excitable, and she really wanted a job. But now she lives a very cushy and wonderful life in Chicago with one of our college friends who always house sat for us if we went out of town. They told us, if you ever have anything happen and you need a home for Stella, let us know. And we did. And so she plays in the snow, and we get updates on her every now and then. She's an old dog now.
Yep. You know, people and you know, we say it too. Don't get an animal unless you're prepared to care for that animal.
Look at this thing.
Yeah. And
this is what she loves, though.
And we have firsthand experience with being the folks that take on that responsibility when our lifestyle just didn't work for that. And so we couldn't give her the attention, the playtime, the space that she needed.
And now when we make a decision on getting an animal, it is a measured and a thought out decision. Lots of research goes into it, lots of thought and preparation. Somebody said, Springdale said, never feel bad about doing what is best for the animals. I agree with that. And in that situation, it's 100% what it was.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get us wrong. A big part of it was what needed to happen for our family.
Oh yeah.
When Eleanor came along, we already did not have the time that we needed to take ample care of Stella, and so she was just she lived in the backyard, and there's nothing wrong with having an outside dog, but she didn't get the love that she deserved because we just didn't have the time. And so and also we didn't plan to have a baby.
No, we did not.
And so,
I don't think we've ever talked about that on the live, but
that was a surprise for us.
Surprise-ish. I mean, we'd been married for a year. We'd been married for a year, and I was pregnant with Eleanor on our first year anniversary trip, and I felt terrible. I didn't feel like myself. I kept, we kept going back and forth. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know why I feel this way, blah. And it never crossed my mind that I was pregnant with Eleanor.
Yeah, so
we got home, and like 2 weeks later, I was like, wait a minute.
So that was a wonderful surprise, but a surprise nonetheless.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
But it was still a surprise.
That changed our season of life drastically.
Yeah.
And so not only were we too busy before, but then with that, we needed to make sure that for Eleanor's sake and Stella, the dog's sake, that they weren't going to have a negative interaction that could have hurt either of them. So yes, it had a lot to do with our personal needs, but also, yes, it was absolutely the best thing for Stella, the dog. So I tell that story about our other dogs before and having to rehome Stella to say that I was very apprehensive about any animals, let alone another dog. And then the pandemic hit and all bets were off. And so because we knew we were going to be home.
All bets were off. You couldn't not get a dog.
Well,
is that what you mean? I don't know what you mean by all bets are off.
The pandemic changed everything. I mean, it changed absolutely everything in our lives. We were here on the farm all the time for over 9 months. We were here every single day.
So it changed everything in that we would have the time to train and to spit. Look at this nugget. I mean, like, she's the best thing in the world. I was thinking earlier today, I saw that our friends at Coghill Farm, Jason put up a video today where he surprised Brooke with a camera in the Victoria Crown Pigeons
cool.
loft. Yeah, okay, you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I've been working all day.
He's hoping he can live stream, but it made me think of, so when we started having to go back to physically in the office working rather than working from home, I was really worried about Lady because she had never really been away from us because we didn't go anywhere. She'd never been away from us. So I was already thinking, what is she going to do all day? What is she going to do all day? You know, is she going to have separation anxiety? And we had left her here and there to do different things, but I was like, oh no. So we bought the little Amazon Blink cameras. And there were a lot of ads going around on the internet at the time for a special camera that they had for your dog, like to check in on your dog while you're not at home. And I was like, that's neat. I didn't buy that one because it's expensive, but I bought the really cheap ones. And we set up the camera in the living room because that's where Lady stays most of the time when we're gone. And I had noticed before I set up the camera that when I would leave in the morning, she would be laying on the couch on like a pillow or something or a blanket. And when I would come back home, she would be laying in very close to the same spot. So we set up this camera and I'm checking it throughout the day on my phone through the app. And I'm sending it to him because all day she stayed in the same spot.
Yep.
And then we get home and she's still in the same spot. So we set up a camera to see what our dog does while we're gone. She sleeps. She does this. She sleeps. She sleeps all day.
All day.
And what was wild, I discovered that about our own dog. And I mean, we watched her for like a week to see, you know, if there was anything that made a difference. And I would tell her before I left, Lady, I hope you do something today. Like, you have toys, you have things to chew on, you have your food and water. And she would get up and move around just a little bit, but she would go back to whatever spot she started
Same
in when we
spot.
left. Yeah, so if it was a chair one day, she'd be in that chair, like, off and on all day, and be in the chair when we came home. If it was the couch, same thing. So wherever she started the day is where she ended the day when we came home. But I saw a study, like, while we were doing this little experiment, I saw a study that said, the headline read, you know that dog you got during the pandemic? Just because you've gone back to work, you don't have to get rid of the dog. And then it gave like the statistics on what a dog does while you're not at work. They eat, they drink, they might use the bathroom, and they sleep. So like 80% of their time while you're not at home is spent sleeping.
Well, and
And that hadn't been our experience because of the high energy dog that we had.
And coming out of the gate when we started going back to work from the pandemic, we didn't have the flexibility in our schedules that we do now. Especially me, I had to start a new job like almost immediately after we went back from the pandemic. And that job was very demanding in terms of scheduled hours. And so I did have one day a week that I could work remote from home. But even when I was home that one day a week, it was be at your computer the entire time from 7:45 to 4:45, and be hyper responsive. Anytime somebody, if you missed it for just a couple of minutes, you were going to get an earful about it. And so it was not like it is now, where almost every day there's somebody here on the farm. And it wasn't like that when we first started back. And so because we both get to do some remote work, we're here. There's at least one person here almost every day.
Well, I don't get remote work anymore.
Well,
you know that.
Because my remote work.
If y'all would, I'm gonna say this. If you are the praying kind, I would appreciate it. But there are some changes coming for my job, hopefully, and I ask that you kind of join me in prayer and hoping for that the changes that have been proposed do happen, because they will allow me to work from home more, or work from home, period. So if you are the praying kind, if you would keep that in your prayers, I'm really, really, really praying that happens in the new year.
And, remote work is not something that works for every position, but for our work, everything we do is online. And there's almost nothing that we can't do for our job remotely. And so I understand some of the not wanting people to be out of the office all the time, but for our work, it just makes sense. And so I've been really blessed with a workplace and a team that that works really well remotely. And when we come together a few times a week, that's more than enough of in-person stuff.
Do you hear her?
I do. But then I have days like today where I had 3 meetings back to back today that I had to be in person for. But
she just wants to sleep on me like a baby.
Yeah.
You see her? And every time I move her, I'm trying to get situated because my hands get tired. Look, she just like starts falling backwards. She's grunting because she doesn't want me to move her around. She's going, you stinker. You're so spoiled. Yeah, Tracy, my friend Tracy Britnell at Just Dig It Farms, she's been lifting that up. I am way more focused and productive when I work from home. I learned that during the pandemic. It allows me, I mean, if you think when you take a break at work, and this isn't shift work, it's not
we're
15-minute breaks.
Yeah, we're salaried employees, so
it's not shift work. And so you can take a break whenever you need to. And since we stare at computers all day, your eyes need a break and your neck needs a break and you need to move around. So being able to work from home, I can stand up and come do dishes or fold a load of laundry. And it really, really helped with the balance of things. So I know a lot of people can't relate to that kind of thing because that concept didn't exist not too long ago. But that is something that we have seen in different industries that we're involved with, has made a big impact since 2020, is the ability for a flexible work schedule.
And I think
sorry, I don't mean to hit you.
And the flexibility in work schedule has made our standard of living go way up. Our quality of life is so much higher than it was before we could do remote work. And I mean, a lot of that is being together more often. The fact that I can drop off and pick up Eleanor from school every day is huge.
Well, and not having the commute.
Yeah.
You're not wasting hours of your day commuting. You're, as soon as you're on, you're on. As soon as you're off, you're off.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready earlier. Things get accomplished faster. So. We'll get off that subject, but I did want to mention that, and we are headed into Christmas break. Eleanor is done with school after tomorrow.
She's got
for the rest of the year,
Friday.
And we are super excited. Super excited.
Eleanor's definitely excited.
I
know y'all can't believe that Eleanor would be excited that she's about to be out of school for a few weeks.
She's tired tonight.
Yeah. Well, yesterday Eleanor and I fell asleep and took a nap after she got home from
every
school.
time there's a storm front coming in, like it's here now, but the pressure changes and it just seems like that affects you, and Eleanor are both more sensitive to the weather pressures than I am.
Yeah.
I'll get tired, but I will say, I can't remember who I said this to, but I'm tired of it being gray outside. We have not seen the sun in it feels like a week.
It's been a little while.
It feels like a week that we have not actually seen the sun.
Yeah.
I think it was the day I did Landon and Ashley's pictures.
It may have been. So that would have been a week
while.
from Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been gray and rainy. This is our rainy season, but I could use some sunshine.
I'm interested to see what our pond looks like after all this rain today, because it was already up a lot.
I bet it's gonna be spilling over the dam tonight, more than likely.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That doesn't cause us any problems.
There's a storm drain on the other side of our dam, and so it was built very well and very intentionally, not by us, by people before us, and we're very thankful that they did such a great job building that.
On these gray days, though, I have wanted to go fishing really bad, and I just have not had time. I have not had the time to go fishing.
I thought about
which
fishing.
seems so silly because it's right there.
This weekend was the first time I thought about fishing in like a month, and I just didn't take the time to do it because I had other stuff I wanted to get to.
Our fishing poles are in the barn.
Yeah.
All it takes is picking one up and walking to the pond.
Mm-hmm. Like
as long as
50
someone
feet or
hasn't
so.
broken my lure off of my pole or something.
I don't use your pole. I don't use the bait caster. So
I use an open reel bait caster, and I do that on purpose because that means nobody touches my fishing pole.
Yeah. And I like the open reel flip rods. That's what I like to use, and I don't like to use the bait
But
casters.
with it getting cooler, this is like fishing time.
Yeah.
People, it gets warm outside, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's time to go fishing." That's actually the slow time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the fish are sluggish. They're more motivated to bite in the winter because food is less, and they're hungrier. So this is fishing time in February.
Yeah.
February is fishing time.
It depends. If you can catch them like kind of right on the edge of those seasons, as the seasons change, that's really when the best fishing is going on.
Yeah, I see that.
Springdale Homestead asked, will y'all be attending Keeper of the Old Ways in Dothan in March? We will not.
Yeah, we won't because we have the Petals from the Past event, the Antiques in the Garden event that we'll be involved with, and spring is our crazy busy season because we are a small farm hatchery, and I am focused on setting eggs and shipping chicks, and so that's peak season for us. And we know we're going to have a family vacation likely in February, so I'm already going to have to work around that, which is going to be great. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Anytime that we're going to be out of town during the spring and early summer, we have to plan it out. It has to be at least a month in advance to make sure that we don't have eggs in the incubator they're going to hatch while we're out of town.
Yeah.
We have to set those setting days and the hatching days, and even the days that you move the eggs down into the hatching tray. The last few days, you take the eggs off of their rack and you put them down into a hatching tray in case they start to hatch early and that sort of thing, and they don't need to be tilted the last few days, so we move them down into a hatching tray. And we can't do that if we're not here, so we can't go away during that time unless we've planned ahead of time and not put eggs in for that.
Yeah, so it takes advanced planning, and anybody that has animals know you can't just run out of town most of the time unless you have somebody that like if you have a teen that can take care of things that lives with you or something. I wanted to share, a lot of you may have seen it already, but we had a broody hen sitting in the barn, and we did not know she was sitting in the barn.
Do you have anything?
Okay, stop it.
Oh, goodness.
If you don't mute it, it'll we'll get a flag for copyright.
Does it have music on it?
Probably. I don't know. I actually don't know. Let me check really quick. Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, if we show something, a short or something like that we've produced, a reel on Facebook, short on YouTube, if we show that in our live feed, it gets demonetized. Although right now it's not monetized, so
there was no music on that one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. We had.
Gosh, this baby is shrink wrapped.
Okay.
Okay, I got it unwrapped, and it is under her. Mom.
Okay. No audio on the reel now.
I was gonna tell him what it was. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, it's gonna start over in just a second, anyways. 9 seconds.
So we had a hen sitting in the barn. We did not communicate on that. I'm sorry, y'all. We had a hen sitting in the barn on a nest of eggs, and we didn't know she was there. We don't know when she started sitting. She was hiding in a cardboard box that I had some rooster feathers saved in from when we have processed them for ourselves. I preserved them, and I think I'm going to do a video soon on how I did that, because on Instagram the response was like, why is that hen sitting on a dead rooster? Because that's what it looked like. And I'm like, well, it's not wrong, but it's also not right. It's not a dead rooster, it's just preserved feathers, just like you would a deer pelt or something like that. It's the same thing, it's just done with the feathers. And she chose that as her nesting box, which was excellent because it was super clean and it was very warm and insulated. And she did start sitting during that cold snap that we had a couple of weeks ago. But I didn't know when her eggs were going to hatch because they were all laid at different times. I didn't know how old, like, maybe the nest was that she had found to sit on, because chickens will do that. They'll like, ooh, this is a good spot, and a bunch of different ones will lay in the nest, and you don't know how long they've been there. And so I went in the barn and I heard cheeping, and I was like, oh no, because it's happened before. We've had them hatch chicks in the barn and they haven't kept up with their chicks. They haven't been good moms, and then there's a baby in the barn somewhere and I don't know where it is, and I'm trying to find it. So I immediately went to her nest and lifted her up, and I was like, well, there's just an egg, there's not a chick. And I look at it and pull it out and notice immediately that the chick is fluffy, which when chicks are hatching, they're not fluffy. When they're supposed to be breaking out of that egg, they're all wet. And I noticed the chick is fluffy and that the eggshell is gone. Let me put it back up there now. The eggshell is gone, but the membrane is like still there. And that is called shrink wrapping. And you'll hear us say that probably a lot in our videos because it's one of the most common.
Right there.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. You can see the chick was like dry and fluffy, but it couldn't get out of the egg. It was stuck in there. So that membrane, as it starts drying off, if the chick doesn't come out, it slowly shrinks around the chick and they get stuck in the egg. So that is the most common hatching issue with your chicks. And that's a humidity problem, and obviously if it's a mama hen doing it, you can't control the humidity. It's not science, it's nature at that point. And I am really glad that I was walking through the barn and heard the cheeping and decided to go over there and check, because if I hadn't, that chick would have stayed stuck in the egg and it would not have made it. But I unwrapped it and I put it back under her. It looked totally fine, and came back in about an hour and it was all fluffed up, and she's been going all over the farm with it. So, and she only had one. Somebody said, only one? Why does she have only one chick? Well, it just depends on what develops and what hatches. And I think it's like what I was worried about, that a lot of the eggs were pretty old. We have a leak in the roof.
Uh-oh. Eleanor just came and told us that we have a leak. And Jacqueline says that we really do have a leak. So I know what we're working on this evening. I guess I'm probably going to be going up in the attic here in the next few minutes to see if I can resolve that issue. So add that to the prayer concerns we're giving y'all tonight if you're the praying type. So we are going to go in just a second so that I can go check on that. Thank y'all so much for being here. Just again, real quick, a reminder that we are raising money for Heifer International, and you can find the link to that fundraiser in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube. And that link will take you to our website where you can make a donation directly through our website. If you prefer to make a donation directly through Heifer International, you can do that at heifer.org. And so you can make that donation. Just let us know that you made the donation and let us know whether you want it to be for Team Pig or Team Goat. If you do it on our website, it asks Team Pig or Team Goat. Or you can give stars or super chats or super thanks. Either one of those. All of our stars on Facebook from the month of December will go towards this fundraiser, and all of our super chats on YouTube and super thanks on YouTube will go towards this fundraiser for the month of December. No matter what post or video that they're on, all stars and super chats and super thanks will go towards the fundraiser. So thank y'all so much for helping us lift up this worthy cause. We're so glad that we can support folks in developing communities in this way. And we are so thankful that y'all are joining us in this. Well, all right, farm friends, I'm going to go up in the attic and see what needs to be done about this leak real quick. Thanks so much for being here. Check out tomorrow. We'll have a new video up, and we hope that you enjoy it. Thanks so much for being here, farm friends. Y'all have a good one.